Welcome to the Wealth Mindset with JD Garnier. First started in business, somebody told me a long time ago that production has privileges. That when you produce, you can do what you want to do. When you add to the bottom line, when you are productive, when you are the one who is generating revenue, you call the shots. And I used to always wonder why this guy in this corner office show up when he wanted, take as long as of a lunch as he wanted to do, and pretty much say what he wanted to say in the office. And that's when the guy told me production has privileges. And so the question is, how do you become a producer? In this world of consumers, in this world of people who like to use and spend resources, how do you create them? How do you become a producer? How do you become the person that's responsible for making things happen? If you are in business, if you are in sales, how do you become the man? When I first became a financial advisor, I didn't have any clients. I didn't have any network. I didn't have any relationships with anybody with any kind of real money. But that was my job. Manage people with real money. And so how did I get in front of those people? What is it that I needed to do to put myself in a position of leadership and trust so that I could become a producer? The first thing is you have to have the right mindset. You cannot have a mindset of consumption. You cannot have a mindset of taking. You have to have a mindset of giving. If you want to be a producer, you have to have a mindset of what value you can add to other people's lives. You can't be a producer and think, what can I take from people? You got to wake up with your mindset on solving people's problems. If you can't solve problems, you can't make money. If you're not the person that can make things happen and get the job done and solve the problem, nobody's going to trust you. And so you have to have a mindset of a giver. Do I need to give my time, my resources, my money, my advice, my opinion, my leadership? What are you willing to give to solve the problem? What do you have to give to solve the problem? Because once you have the right mindset, you have to have the right skill set. What can you do? What problems can you solve? What talents, abilities, and gifts do you have? That's why I say you are the wealth. Because the first thing that you have to develop, the first thing that you have to invest in, the first thing that you have to multiply is yourself, your human capital, the sum total of all of your talents, abilities, and gifts. What is it that you can contribute to the world that can solve problems? Whatever that thing is, you have to develop that. You have to develop that skill set. You have to, at the end of the day, you got to put the work in. You have to mold and develop yourself into something that is valuable in the marketplace. When I first started, I knew I didn't know everything, but I couldn't go into meetings. I couldn't go into client interactions as just a straight up novice. And so I used to take a reading file home every day. I actually still do that to this day. And so before I leave my office, I try to download or print out at least 3 to 5 articles of a new commentary, an economic article, a new product, a new investment idea, a change in a tax law, a different strategy that I've never considered. I want to read something so that I am always on the cutting edge of my profession, so that I can always add value to people's lives. It may be something I never use, but when the opportunity comes for me to use it, I haven't. And so I'm always constantly seeking knowledge and wisdom so that I can give that and add that value to other people's lives. So you have to have the right skill set. You have to have the right mindset. You have to have the right skill set. And you have to have the right disposition and heart. You got to be doing it for the right reason. If you're in business to scam people, if you're in business to take advantage of people, if you're in business just to get to the bag, it's not going to work. The bag is nothing but a scheme to get to the fruit without any ownership in the tree. You're hustling people, you're scamming people, right? You have improper, unethical business practices. It's not going to work. You may get over, you may make some money in the short term, but that's nothing to build anything sustainable on. You can't build wealth like that. You can't follow your purpose like that because it's built on deception. It's built on lies. It's a scheme to get to the fruit without any ownership in the tree. But when you invest your time, when you invest your efforts, when you invest your energy into developing and building and cultivating and nurturing and molding that tree, once that thing starts to produce fruit, it's going to feed you and your family forever. You don't have to come up with no schemes. You have created something that can produce forever. It takes time. That's how you become a producer. That's how you become the person that makes things happen, whether we're in a recession or whether we're in the best economy you ever seen. Because it's not about external forces. It's about what you have created from within. That's what makes the tree so powerful. That's what makes trees able to sustain hurricane style winds because they are rooted from within. They may lose some leaves, they may lose some branches, but the foundation is immovable. That's how you want to be in life. The hard times come for everybody. You may lose some leaves, you may lose some branches, but if you are rooted in your purpose, if you are rooted in the core of what God called you to do, you're immovable. That's the wealth mindset.